Buddy, and welcome back to another episode of the KellyCast this week. Mike, I'm losing my ability to talk already. We got a long show ahead.
You're upset.
Week 5, quick picks, game previews. Look at that. Look at that green screen right now, Mike. You did not beat me this week for this belt.
And you should just hold that on your side for that, because that's a win in of itself.
You're making fun of me because when I originally did the list, I had thought that I won. I was celebrating. I was all happy, guys, but that's not how it went. Okay, we are live, just to double check. Fantastic news. First game of the week happened on Thursday, Mike. Bears and Commanders.
And
You took the Chicago Bears.
I did, and I'm ahead one, aren't I?
No.
Ahead one. It's this week.
Oh, man. I don't like it. I thought that game, they kept them in it for too long. They kept the Commanders around for too long. I think it was close there. You saw me walk away in the fourth quarter after that DJ Moore touchdown. What a performance for DJ Moore.
They're still absolutely great performance, but the Bears are still a terrible team. Don't get me wrong. But they
8 receptions, 230 yards, 3 scores. Get him more involved, and maybe you can win more than one game in a calendar year. Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
Final score 40-20. It's a very surprising contest. But the next game that we have on our slate this week, guys, is none other than the game across the pond, Mr. Mike. It is Bills and Jags. Apparently the Bills are the home team, which we know the Bills travel better.
Their uniforms say so.
They do. Blue on white once again. Last week, what happened with the Buffalo Bills, Mike? What did you see?
I don't remember any of the game. I saw a lot of stuff. What did you see?
What did you see? Bills and Dolphins. What were you happy about?
I saw a football game. I saw Tua get hit 9 times, almost double what he was hit.
Are you telling me you didn't do the Bills notes?
I didn't.
Of course you didn't.
Nope.
Not only did you not do the Cowboys notes, you didn't do the Bills notes either.
Nope.
That's okay.
Ill prepared.
Buffalo Bills last week destroyed the Miami Dolphins. Destroyed them, and it was a divisional contest. It was supposed to be close. We all know that. Stephon Diggs, half of his receptions go for touchdowns. The knockout performance of the week last week, Josh Allen. Where are you going? That's because when it's over there, I don't feel it.
Yep. I am interrupting the show because I am like a pregnant woman.
You are a pregnant woman.
I am hot. I am fat. You can handle it, skinny boy.
Josh Allen missed 4 throws last week and had 5 touchdowns. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Well, no, was it 4 touchdowns and
4 touchdowns through the air, and I think he ran one in as well. So because I'm pretty sure he did the roll.
The roll, and he did the little,
Oh yeah.
But they're facing off this week, Mike, against the Jacksonville Jaguars, one of the AFC favorites. Last week they beat the Atlanta Falcons 23-7, also in London. Trevor Lawrence went 23 of 30 last week, also had a touchdown, but Travis Etienne had a rough day, averaging only 2.8 yards per carry, finished with 55 yards. And they were sacked twice, had 3 penalties. They didn't play bad football. They kept the Falcons around.
Yep, they've been playing bad football.
They have been.
They have been playing bad football, but I can see this one sneaking on the Bills. I don't know why. I hope not.
Your gut feelings have been right. I really hope you're telling me this isn't a gut feeling, because your gut feelings have been right this year.
It's hopefully not a gut feeling yet, but I'm still going Bills.
Okay.
I'm still thinking the Bills are going to win. I don't think they're quite there yet. I mean, they had a good game against a
good
Falcons.
The
Jags. Yeah, the Jags. Jags had a good game against a Falcons team with the rookies and still in the rebuilding phase.
Of course, and they struggle to run the football. So hopefully that continues. If you get a team that has to pass, it makes you very one-dimensional. Rousseau is out. We don't know about Vaughn. And now it's been reported that Shaq Lawson has a toe injury, and he is questionable to play tomorrow.
And that's what I texted you earlier, too. I was like, put Shaq on the left side, he'll be fine. He's been pretty decent, you know, he's been intermittent.
Chop that thing off and get back in
Put it
there.
back out, man. Double tape it, bud. Double tape it, get some long shoes, do what you gotta do.
You probably don't know what that's from.
I don't.
Remember Mean Tweets? You ever see that on
Yeah.
So it was Clay Matthews, and he was reading a mean tweet sent to him, and he said, a finger injury? Really? Chop that off and get back in there.
Somebody, that happened in an NFL game. The dude's finger was hanging, they took the tip off or whatever, wrapped it up, he's back out there, man. That's old Iron Man football. Get out there, man.
I'm also selecting the Buffalo Bills this week. It's not going to happen every week. You know, later on the Bills have the Eagles, they have the Chiefs, they have the Bengals. If the Bengals ever decide that they remember how to play football.
Yep.
But so far, this team, it was talked about in the media. You know, we talked about this on the recap. They've been talked about as the number one team in the AFC for a reason. Ever since that loss to the Jets, they've been blowing teams out.
Yeah, they have. And not just bad teams. The Miami Dolphins are a good team.
Yeah,
So.
and they're going to continue to be a good team. They're probably going to win this week, but we'll get to them a little bit later. Our next game, a divisional contest, Mike. Ravens and Steelers. This game in Pittsburgh. Fun little fact for you guys on the previews this week. Mike is talking about the away team in every single matchup. Kind of just happened that way. But you have the Ravens this week, Mike. Tell me about Lamar Jackson, the 3-1 leaders in the AFC North.
Lamar Jackson, let's see, what did he do last week? Did they win last week? I can't remember. I didn't write that down in my notes.
They did.
Yeah. So he had an abysmal game for 186 yards, 2 touchdowns. His completion ratio was pretty good,
Okay.
15-19. But their run game has been very limited, 27 yards, even with Lamar.
J.K. Dobbins was injured in week 1, and he's gone for the year now. So that could be part of the reason that the Ravens struggled to run the football.
Yep. So it was all passing last week. Mark Andrews had a perfect day, catching all 5 targets for 80 yards. In this game, the Steelers are not going to win. I don't have that gut feeling on this one. So
You just don't like them because you lost at them in Madden, huh?
yes.
Last week, though, Mike, it wasn't all about the offense for the Ravens. They beat the Browns by a score of 28-3, only allowing 3 points. You know, your defense has a big factor there. And last week, the Steelers lost to the Texans by a score of 30-6, not scoring a touchdown. But last week, Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you remember, I know you've seen it 100 times, the South Park movie, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut,
Yeah.
the musical.
Yeah.
Everybody's posting the Blame Canada meme right now. It's hilarious. And somebody found his burner, Mike. I know you remember burner phones back in your day. Nowadays,
Yep.
it's burner accounts on Twitter. Not only does this man have a burner account, Mike, he used his official Steelers email address to create it. MattCanada@PittsburghSteelers.com. Kenny Pickett last week went 15 of 23, 114 yards, no scores, and an interception through the air. Their leading receiver was Najee Harris with 32 yards, which is garbage. And you know how many yards they had as a team, Mike? 225.
Wow.
If I told you that 10 years ago, hey, that's a good game. That's a good offensive. It's not 10 years ago anymore. 200 offensive yards, way too low.
200, even that 10 years ago, I don't think so, man. 300 was probably, maybe closer to the 300. I'd say 280, 300.
I like that. I'm going to select the Baltimore Ravens this week. But again, divisional contest. I think it could be close. I remember these teams having games where it's like 10-7.
Do the Steelers have the ability to keep something close this year? I mean,
That's a great question. That is a really good question.
We talk about the Bears being just bad. I mean, the Steelers to lose like that to a team that's been blown out the first 2 weeks, I think it was.
But remember, we can't sit here and say teams are going to get blown out and then be proven wrong every week.
Every week, of course. I'm not going to be wrong every week, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be a blowout, but I don't see the Steelers winning many games,
Just
and this
for
isn't going to be
confirmation,
one of them.
you do have the Ravens.
I do.
Okay, good. Because last week I had a problem reading with when you pick your team, so I want to make sure I get it from
This
your
one-
mouth, not from my mouth.
Yeah,
Making sure
Ravens.
we have it correct.
Ravens. Put it on the record. Stamp it. Mail it in.
Is that what they used to do back in the day?
I think so.
Next up, the contest that we're wearing today, Mike. Kurt Warner and Mike Vick gonna be suiting up?
Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes.
They
Come
will-
on.
They
That
will
would
not.
be an amazing matchup.
They will. Did they ever
Two
play
old
each
guys.
other?
I don't know.
Because Vic got caught for his whole
No.
dog fighting thing.
I don't think they.
But Warner
Not that
also
I can
played
recall.
with the Cardinals, so it could have been Cardinals versus Eagles. You know when Vic came back after serving his time.
Possibly.
I'm gonna look that up. We're gonna figure
I'll
that
have to
out.
check that out.
But it's Eagles and Rams this week, and your Philadelphia Eagles, Mike. I know you're not a huge fan of them, but you support the Birds every once in a while.
I do, and it's kind of odd for a Cowboys fan to do that, isn't it?
It is, but
But,
4-0. Tell me why.
You know, I traveled there a couple times, so
Mhm.
it's nice. Got to support it a little
Tell me
bit.
about those Philadelphia Eagles.
Those Eagles are still undefeated.
Mhm.
They're looking pretty good, but Jalen Hurts is looking a little, just from the eye test, he's looking a little
Not like himself.
not like himself. But I think we could all attribute that to them losing their offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
As Buffalo Bills fans, we know what that feels like with Ken Dorsey, right?
Yeah.
They also lost their D coordinator.
Yep. They're both
tough.
head coaches in the NFL now. And last week, the Eagles struggled putting away the Commanders, only winning by 3 points after the Commanders scored on the final play of regulation to go into overtime. What do you think? What was that stat that I told you about? I think it was Jake Elliott of the Eagles, the kicker for the Eagles, and the kicker for the Dallas Cowboys both have more points than the New York Giants.
The New York Giants, 48 points.
Ridiculous.
And the whole team's got 46.
Ridiculous. But
That is crazy.
The Rams, Mike, they've been playing a little bit better this year. I want to take you to Madden, okay?
Mhm.
Madden, I believe, has Stafford at a 77 overall or a 79 overall, and I think it's just rude.
The guy's a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Not only that, but he's still serviceable. Like, I think he's still pretty good. 27 of 40, 319, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He is that old school slinger. You know, you don't see a lot of them left. I think Josh Allen's a slinger as well, but there's really not many past that. So
Right.
Stafford, the old man, still got it. Last week, they also won, beating the Indianapolis Colts in overtime by a score of 29-23. The running game got going. Remember, they traded away Cam Akers, but Kyron Williams pops in 25 carries, 103 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Puka Nacua continues to go off, Mike. Not only did he set the record, right, for the most receptions through 4 games in NFL history, he scored his first touchdown in the NFL, and it was a walk-off touchdown in overtime to help his team win the game.
And that's one of the games we won against each other, I think, isn't it? You said it was Puka Nacua season.
It's still Puka Nacua season. You and your dad both went with the Colts last week. I believed in the Rams. Nacua, 9 receptions, 163 yards. I believe with Matthew Stafford, the Rams are still competitive. They're still relevant. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles, though. I'm wearing this. I know, guys. I know if there's any Rams fans watching, I apologize. I just think the Eagles are too damn good.
You think they're too good? You don't think the Rams could sneak another one out like they did last week? Who did they play last week?
They played the Colts.
The
I don't
Colts.
think that's
Yeah, no,
really
you just
sneaking
said
it
that.
out.
You said that 5 seconds ago.
It's all good.
But they still. What was the score?
29-23.
That's pretty kind of sneaking it out. It's only by a score and a half.
When I say not sneaking it out, I mean like beating a better team than you. I think the Rams and the Colts are probably properly matched. They're probably both like C-.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
the Eagles are like an A+ right now, at least in terms of their record. They're not playing like an A+ though. They really need to get that under control. And you know, when you're winning, there's no complaints. But even at 4-0, I think there's adjustments the Eagles need to be making.
yeah, I agree. And I think based on the games that they've had, I can't see the Eagles losing this game either. So
Okay, so going Philadelphia.
gonna have to tie again this week.
We will not tie. The crazy thing is, guys, we aren't picking the same teams. The 4 matchups that we all lost.
Last week we were very different.
It was very different, and we both still missed only 2 games. Moving on to Chiefs and Vikings, Mike. I'm going to start off with the Minnesota Vikings here. Finally got a victory last week. You and me both said if they don't beat the Carolina Panthers, it's going to be the end of the world as we know it.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins last week threw 19 passes. What is it, 1994? He completed only 12 of them, 139 yards, 2 scores, 2 interceptions. He tried to lose the game. Alexander Madison, though, he feels the pressure. He feels Cam Akers behind him because this week he had 95 all-purpose yards, or 95 rushing yards, and 11 yards in the receiving game, over 100 on the day. Jefferson continues to do what Jefferson does. 6 receptions, 85 yards, 2 gritties in the end zone, Mike. And the defense only allowed 13 points, which is Swiss cheese this year.
Good.
But I don't want you to be mean. I don't want you to tell me we're getting back together. I don't want you to tell me any other Taylor Swift lyric that's on your mind. Talk to me about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, there was one that I did say I have to say, and that's Band-Aids don't fix bullet holes.
Are you going to shake it off real quick?
I'm going to shake it off real quick, and we're going to go into how terrible of a game Patrick Mahomes had last week because it's just, he doesn't have many.
Do you think the Vikings are going to have some
For
good
him,
guys on the guitar?
Anybody who knows those references, please share them with me. I guess I don't dislike her. I just don't listen to her music. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, by his standards, he had 203 through the air. He threw 2 interceptions, only 1 touchdown, and he couldn't even counter the interceptions. I mean, he didn't look good. And the fantastic, crazy part, I should say, is that it was against the Jets. Again, the Jets seem to be like this powerhouse against big, AFC contenders, and they're not after Rodgers goes away, he's not expected to do anything. So they went from we're gonna be contenders for the AFC East to can we make the playoffs? Maybe. Can we win a couple? I mean,
the Jets, in fact, the only team to not play with a lead this season because obviously the Jets beat us in overtime.
Yeah, Kelsey had only 60 yards, which is pretty decent for him. That's probably about average. So he's pretty good. Six receptions on 9 targets.
I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs this week. There's no doubt about it. I'm gonna deal with the Taylor Swift references. I don't hate it as much as everybody else because again, I listen to her music. She's a fantastic songwriter, and it is what it is. I think it's great. Could it all be a publicity stunt? Possibly, it really could be. Who knows at the end of the day?
Who cares? It's fun, and in reality, we all make fun of it. But if it brings a few more fans and keeps the NFL alive, I'll take it.
Yeah, it was this guy I was watching. His name's Matt. He's a Lions fan, and he was talking about it the other day. He said the NFL, when it comes to advertising, they don't want to advertise to you and me. They know they have us in their back pocket. They're advertising to the 13-year-old girl, to the mother who doesn't want to watch football, to those kinds of people because they know they have us. We're going to watch no matter what at the end of the day.
I can kind of agree with that, but kind of at the same time, you still have to pander to the people who are. I mean, look what happened to other brands. We're not political on the show, so I'm not going to get there. But, just look what other things.
They pander to us. They pander to us by
Absolutely.
playing the game. They pander to us by telling us what we want to hear. You know what I mean? Like, the other stuff is us.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is for the rest. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs this week, Mike.
I did not write down a prediction for this game either. I was really slacking this week.
I'm not surprised.
No, you weren't surprised.
You were tired.
Yeah, it's been an exhausting week. Regardless, though, I haven't given this one much thought, but I think the Vikings have it in them to take it, but I don't think that they are going to. Okay. I think they've been struggling way too much. So
with the Kansas City
I got to go with Kansas City.
All right. And somebody liked the video, Mike.
Yeah.
Next up, the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Delzer versus Kelly. The battle. Has it happened yet? Like, has he trash talked you before?
Yeah. He said he's gonna beat the cowgirls down. He said all kinds of nasty things I can't say on here. So I can't.
Last week, the San Francisco 49ers destroyed the Arizona Cardinals. This is where fantasy football gets confusing, Mike. Because Melissa says, oh, I don't like the 49ers defense. That's my Melissa impression. You see how deep it gets? It's weird.
Yep.
Sometimes
it gets that way.
They only allowed 16 points, Mike. How is that bad? In terms of fantasy football, it's bad because they didn't get sacks, they didn't get turnovers, whatever. Only allowed 16 points last week, scored 35. Brock Purdy, 20 of 21, 283 yards and a score. He doesn't have to throw for 300 yards, Mike. He doesn't have to, you know? At the end of the day, we all want to make fun of Brock Purdy. We all want to say that, you know, he's not this, he's not that. He's an accurate thrower of the football. He gives his guys a chance, and it works. What else do you want?
I can't say much more. I can't say anything more about
Literally.
it. I can't combat that because they've been playing good football. He's been playing good football.
Mhm.
You know, he's not putting up star-studded numbers, but
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
I'm not going to put Brock Purdy in my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL.
no, but he's
But at the
getting the
same
job
time-
done.
at the same
He's getting
time,
the job done.
Yes.
The offense is gelling together.
Mhm.
They're trusting each other, and that's all that counts.
He deserves respect.
I
Maybe
said
he's
it-
the guy that works.
I said it a week ago. I'll say it again. You don't always need the best player. You need the right player.
Mhm.
And in this case, you have
Particular-
somebody who's
yeah.
got some talent, and he's seems to be the right player.
Let's go to the MVP of the San Francisco 49ers, Mr. Christian McCaffrey. 20 carries last week, 106 yards, 3 touchdowns. People are talking about him being the first MVP since Adrian Peterson. You think it's possible in today's NFL?
Do I think it's always a quarterback, but
It's been a quarterback
It's
for I think 13
forever.
years.
forever. I mean, I think they need to bring back and give the running back something. They don't want to pay him.
Any money.
They don't want to pay him, so give him something.
Brandon Ayuk's breakout season continues. 6 receptions, 148 yards. And the most interesting thing about the 49ers last week, they only faced third down a total of 5 times throughout the entire game. Can you
Wow.
ask for any better clock management?
No, I don't think you can.
I'm gonna quote Mike here. Am I gonna have to talk about the Cowboys every week since they're my team? No, Mike, but I wanted to talk about the 49ers this week. Tell me about Dallas. You're sitting at 3-1. Does it feel like you're 3-1 right now? Tell me.
Does it? Well, you played against the Giants, the Jets, who are abysmal, right? So
Mhm.
look at the two teams that they played,
Mhm.
that they blew out completely. And even in those blowouts against abysmal teams, the offense wasn't the one who put up most of those points.
Yep.
It was mostly defense. So I feel really good about their defense. Their offense, I'm still a little worried about, even though last week, he still had 0 turnovers. I think he might have only 1 on the season, so he's still doing good in the turnout
The other team
or
you're missing,
turnover department.
the Patriots. Giants,
Patriots.
Jets, and Patriots.
Patriots too. So yeah, so 3 kind of crap teams.
You also played the Arizona Cardinals. Though.
and lost. So my point, I'm worried about the offense.
Okay.
So when the defense is not on their A game, as in the Cardinals,
Mhm.
where do they go?
I like that. What do you think of the Cowboys last week? How'd they look against New England?
They beat the snot out of them. But again, a team that's not even on the rise. They need to get a few first round picks.
I'm
And
in love when I hear negative things about the Patriots. Like I cannot explain to you all how good it makes me feel.
They're on the verge of playing Zappy. I mean, come on.
With that being said, I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers this week. I think it could be a game. I think it could be close. I hope it's close. I love to see good football games. I love to see competitive games. Undefeated. Their offense is so much to handle. Even with a good defense, you can still get around that. Quick plays, quick screens. You're missing Trayvon. There's a lot of things going on.
There's
in
some
San
big pieces.
Francisco's favor.
There's some big pieces missing, and there is definitely a lot going on in San Francisco's favor. I don't want to pick against my team, but I have to pick against my team this week. I have to. I don't see them winning. I see a good defensive battle happening.
Mhm.
Because it's another rivalry.
Yep.
So I see a great battle going on, but I don't. I see the Niners winning by a small margin.
Okay. You're gonna feel really bad if they win, but you're also gonna feel really good. How do you feel? What-
The same way if I ever have to pick against the Bills and they win, I'm gonna be
Yay, but no.
yay, and I don't care about that.
You don't care about the KellyCast
don't.
Prediction Championship.
I don't.
It is the most
Not
prestigious.
when it comes to the team.
It is the most prestigious
Title
award in our house right now.
Yes.
But let's get on,
Right.
Mike, to the KellyCast Week 5 quick picks. Dan, you know how to spell. What's going on? Yes, I do know how to spell. The X is for the X factor, Mike. Who's going to win the game? Mention a player. Mention a player who you think is going to have a breakout time in their game. And we're starting off with the New England Saints and the New Orleans Patriots.
Sweet.
They spot franchises they thought nobody would notice. Saints at Patriots, this game in New England. You saw Mac Jones get pulled last week against Dallas. You see the Saints struggle to put up any points last week. I know they lost by a very big margin, 26-9, no touchdowns. With all the crap we're going to talk about the New England Patriots, I'm still going to pick them this week.
You're gonna pick the Patriots?
Over the
Is
Saints.
Carr's back in, right?
Carr
So-
played last week, but he was hurt. I'm not sure if he's still hurt. I'm not sure if he's still on the injury report.
Depending on the
What's going
severity
on.
of that
Let me
injury.
take a look for you real quick because I'm curious as well as to the New Orleans Saints injury report. Here we have it. Derek Carr, right shoulder. He's questionable to play. He was limited in practice all week. He's going to play. I already know he's going to play, but limited in practice all week.
Shoulders, his throwing shoulder, probably if he's
It's
played
his right
like that
shoulder.
last week.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, give me. Wow, I don't want to do that.
Toilet bowl.
Yeah, it is the toilet bowl, isn't it? That's another Wednesday 3 a.m. game, isn't it? Oh, good Lord. Give me the Saints, man.
Okay.
Just give me the Saints.
Okay.
I don't want to pick the Patriots.
That's fine. That's fine. Titans and Colts is next. This game in Indianapolis. The return of Jonathan Taylor. Last week, the Titans looked really good, destroying the Cincinnati Bengals, which I love.
Sure did.
I'm gonna take
Huday's going back to them paper bags they used to wear.
I'm gonna take the Indianapolis Colts in this one. I told Justin at my work, I said, I'm gonna keep picking against the Titans for you because every time I pick against them, they win. So this is for you, Justin.
I was also gonna go against the Titans
Okay.
as well. I think with the addition of Taylor, they're gonna have a lot more options on the run game, and they're gonna
Richardson has to play better, has to play smarter, not get hurt. Running the football, learn how to slide. Still a thing we talk about with Josh. So
enough concussions he'll learn.
Hopefully. Carolina Panthers at Detroit Lions. Guy at work told me he picked the Lions in his survivor pool. I said that's a good choice. Give me Detroit. I think they're on a hot streak. This is the return of Jameson Williams this week after being suspended for betting on the NFL. I think he's going to provide a spark. The running game is so beautiful. I love watching Detroit this year. I really do. And I'm taking the Lions this week.
Yeah. Same. Lions.
Add something else.
Yeah, the Lions offense is just I love their offense. They play pretty good defense. I'm definitely taking the Lions.
What do you think about Carolina right now? They gave
Carolina.
They gave up everything to select Bryce Young. They're winless, and it looks like they're not going to win that many games, and they're not going to have their first round pick. It's a very tough situation in Carolina right now.
It sucks. It's definitely not something that anybody wants to be in, but they can grow still. It's just not happening anywhere near this year.
Apparently, they called the Bengals. They called the Bengals about Jamar Chase.
Do they have why? The Bengals are not trading Jamar Chase. I don't care if they lose every game this year. They're not trading him.
Hey,
They-
just a report. Just a report.
Yeah, they're not trading him.
I don't
Sorry,
think so
guys.
either. I don't think so either. I just
Not
wanted to
in-
mention it to you. I didn't know if you saw.
No, I didn't. But that's why. I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt. Closed
Yeah,
mouth
hey,
don't get fed,
Give
right?
him a call. Give him a call.
Hey, man.
You're losing games. We want him.
I need some help too.
You got any more of those wide receivers?
I go from one situation to another though, and like I would be upset if that ever happened. And now it's Jamar Chase. I'd quit football.
Paul Gronkowski, when he got traded to Detroit and just retire instead.
Yeah.
Texans and Falcons are next, Mike. We know what happened with Atlanta last week, losing to Jacksonville and London. Houston looks good. I picked up C.J. Stroud in fantasy. He's my guy moving forward. I'm taking the Houston Texans. Who cares that they're away? I think, there's more
Houston,
upside.
Atlanta.
There's more upside there. The concern I have is with Bijan Robinson going off, and if that happens, I think the Falcons could take a game like this where both teams match kind of evenly. But I'm on a C.J. Stroud train right now. I'm taking the Texans.
Yeah, I mean the Falcons haven't been doing too bad either. I mean they got the same type of record. They're 2-2. I mean
last week they had trouble.
They're not as explosive offensively as CJ has been the last couple games.
Yep.
But yeah, that's another difficult one to pick.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'm gonna go Falcons on this one,
Okay.
just to go against you and switch it up because it's a toss-up game. I mean, literally, I feel like you could flip a coin. We don't
one
have
thing you don't have on the set is a coin.
One thing I don't. I got a hockey puck. You want to flip one? Here we go. If it's what is it? Hockey Hall of. Oh, it's a double-sider.
Oh my goodness. Let's move on. New York Giants, Miami Dolphins. At Miami, the New York Giants look god-awful. You walked away from the game on Monday night. I continued to watch it. 11 sacks, a 97-yard pick six. There's no way I'm taking the Giants. I'm sorry, Dayball. I'm not in the club that says why'd you pay Daniel Jones though, because we talked about the Daniel Jones contract. We talked about how it was expensive and whatever. But if you look at the other quarterbacks in the league, he's not making more than a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 3-year deal. It's not his fault they're losing right now. Their offensive line is garbage. They're missing Saquon Barkley. I don't like to make excuses for teams, but there are reasons. Reasons and excuses are two different things to me. But I'm taking the Miami Dolphins this week.
And if I say this
Maybe they
and
score 80.
it becomes a close game, I'm going to look real stupid, but I don't see them hardly getting a field goal, man. I mean, they can't drive down the field. They can't do anything.
Miami's
the Giants.
mad.
Miami's upset that they, finally got to play a good team and got blown out. So, I'm gonna hit those knockout punches until we meet again because it's just fantastic. But I can't see the Giants winning this one either.
All right, go on Miami. You need to state it. State
Miami
the words. Thank you.
Dolphins.
Thank you. Emphasis on the L in Dolphin.
Yes, especially.
Bengals and Cardinals is next. And I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals this week, Mike. I'm going to do it. Because last week I took the Bengals to beat the Titans. They only put up 3 points. Watch, this is going to be the game they bounce back. I already know it. But I want this belt. I bought it. I want it. I want my name attached to it. I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals this week.
I'm gonna say that Joe Burrow shows up and plays a little bit of football against the Cardinals. I'm gonna say they win. Not at all. I mean that's if the Cardinals could very much beat the crap out of them. They could beat up on them, and they're probably the way that they are playing. They might.
I certainly hope so. Next up, Mike, Jets and Broncos. Are we going to see the Jets that played the Chiefs? Are we going to see the Jets that played the Cowboys? Are we going to see the Broncos that played the Bears? Or are we going to see the Broncos that played the Dolphins? This is why the NFL is the most watched sport in the United States. This is why. You never know what's going to happen.
The scriptwriters know.
No. I don't even know. I don't know.
I don't even want to pick on that one either. It's another 2 1-3 teams. I mean, it's
I'm going Jets. I'm going Jets.
I'm gonna go with experience. I'm gonna go with the Broncos, man. I think it's gonna come down to something like that. Just
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not against it.
coaching and experience, and well, I probably shouldn't have made that statement because the
Yeah.
coaching is terrible on both ends. So
One more game to go, Mike, and then we're done here. Packers and Raiders are next. The Monday Night Football game. Finally, just one game, Mike. We don't have to worry about two. Packers.
my goodness,
Packers.
Is-
I don't really need a lot of reasons. Josh Jacobs looks like the ghost of his former self. The rushing champion last year has sucked this year,
And
just in general. I trust Jordan Love more than I trust Jimmy G. Is Jimmy G gonna play?
I was
We
gonna
saw
say,
Aiden O'Connell
is
last
Jimmy
week.
Garoppolo there?
Garoppolo?
Garoppolo.
Oh, girl, I like that. I like that. I dig that. Mike. Let's take a look at the Raiders injury report just so we can see it, to check what's going on with the Las Vegas Raiders. Devontae Adams, shoulder injury, did not practice Thursday or Friday, unspecified for the game. Garoppolo had full practice on Friday, limited practice on Thursday, but we want to call him a girl. He was dealing with a concussion, so I think maybe that's a little much
that's a
for
forced
us.
one. But I'm going based off of previous
But man,
teams
the
he's been on.
Packers are missing a lot. They're missing the left tackle. They're missing the left guard.
Danny, I got to tell you, they are fighting for the bottom in offense, 26th and 27th respectively.
Okay.
So I mean, there's one major difference, and that's defense, 21st and 18th. I mean,
that's not that major.
That's not even that crazy difference. They are pretty even teams all the way around.
And if it comes down to that, if we're even on offense, we're even on defense, what do we go to? We go to who's home, and we go to who has a better coach. And you look at who's home in this one. And why am I missing?
Rushing is almost even, 30th and 32nd. Passing is 17th and 21st.
The Raiders are home, but the coaching goes Packers. I got to take Green Bay.
Yeah, as far as coaching goes, it would be a Green Bay win. As far as if these stats stay true, the Raiders might squeak one out. The pressure.
Pressure makes diamonds.
The pressure. We're gonna say, man, I hope the Packers win, but I think the Raiders are gonna take one.
So you're going Raiders.
I'm gonna go Raiders.
All right, guys, we want to thank you for coming out. If you're checking this video out afterwards, which is everybody, because I looked, Mike, there was no viewers at one point other than me. So people are gonna watch this later. That's fine. Some updates on the channel for you guys. We're just feeling a little burnt out with all these videos coming out every week. So from now on, the predictions are going to be with the live show, which is usually going to be the pre-show. But tomorrow, it is a post-game show. We're shooting for 12:30. Whenever the game ends, we're going to try to get on as soon as we possibly can for you guys and talk about what went down with the Bills and Jags. We want to thank you for all your support. Leave a like, share, subscribe, tell your mama, your daddy, your uncle, everybody that you know. Mike, sign us off.
I never know what to say on these things.
That's
never
why I
have
make
a
you
good
do it.
sign off one, and you always make me do this crap. And you always say the good lines before I can say them. Like, share, follow.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
I'm dying.
everybody.
I'm melting. We'll see you later.